I don't know a lot about the world. But I do know one thing. That hatred. Envy. Greed. Lust. These things do not matter anymore. Love. Peace. Unity. Justice. These are the things that matter in this day and time. I am happy. To see all y'all. Out here. Representing what's going on. Without us, the future is lost. Young, old. Together. We will change this. People in the constant struggle. We are those people in that constant struggle. You want to talk about change? We are the change.
Now, hundreds of liberal protesters have flocked to the streets of New York City in recent weeks. Their mission, Occupy Wall Street.
All right, I want to talk more about this, about the mainstream media coverage of Occupy Wall Street in general.
A global outcry against corporate greed has risen up in almost 1,000 cities worldwide.
Now, the group has attracted the attention of law enforcement, the media, and of course, left-wing celebrities.
People have taken their anger to the streets, saying their governments have been taken over by big business.
Our democracy has turned into capitalism. Genius.
On September 17th, 2011, an ongoing series of demonstrations were initiated in New York City based in Zuccotti Park in the Wall Street area. They titled these protests, Occupy Wall Street. They are mainly protesting social and economic inequality, corporate greed, corruption, and influence over government. By October 9th, similar demonstrations were either ongoing or had been held in 70 major cities and over 600 communities in the U.S., including Atlanta. We documented the ongoing protests in Atlanta and came to the conclusion, this shit is real. Woodruff Park has been occupied by the 99% of our community since October 7th, 2011. From students whose education can't be funded because of the war, to the taxpaying poor who are standing against what citizens before us failed for. We are the ones packing up and leaving the old democracy behind. Tell us what your story is.
I spent 16 years in the military. For what? You take a look at this. Get a shot of his arm. You take a look at that. You tell Uncle Sam thank you for that. Now look at this. You look at this. This is what the government did for me. You see what I'm saying?
How your arm get like that?
That's what I've been asking.
That's called Agent Orange.
Agent Orange?
Agent Orange. Chemical. Vietnam. Done shriveled my whole left side. This is what the military did for me. I stayed in 16 years.
You getting any kind of compensation from that right now?
I get zero.
U.S. military sprayed millions of gallons of Agent Orange over citizens and soldiers, causing many illnesses, birth defects, and even cancers. From the Vietnam War to the downtown streets of Atlanta, the corrupt ways of the U.S. government has moved generations to Woodruff Park, recently renamed Troy Davis Park for the assumed injustices of Georgia's judicial system. In a case that received nationwide attention, an off-duty Savannah police officer was murdered on August 19, 1989. 9 witnesses claimed Troy Davis to be the murderer, and since then, 7 of them recanted or backed off their testimony, leaving doubt that the accusations were even true. In 2008, less than 2 hours before Davis' scheduled execution, the U.S. Supreme Court granted him a stay. And 3 years later, Troy Davis was executed.
This to me is stand up. I am standing up because I don't want to keep paying my rent to slum apartments while they're sleeping in nice apartments. I'm paying for roach plantation, filthiness. I want the mayor, the city mayor, Mayor Reeves to know one thing. The same way that we voted you in, we can vote you out. Clean up this dirty city.
Copper Man, a.k.a. Copper Shot.
Copper Shot.
What's going on right now is the revolution. It's more than time. My people's in need, and they're hungry, they're homeless, they cold at night. They better wake up and leave us alone and let us do what we gotta do. And compromise with us and do what we want. Because they don't buy idea. But I don't think they have a fucking clue of what's going on.
What's going on?
The revolution is upon you. Welcome to it.
A revolution is a fundamental change in power or organizational structure that takes place in a relatively short period of time. It could be a revolution going on in our backyards. A majority of us don't know or don't care. We believe what they want us to believe, and instead of trying to educate ourselves with the truth, we accept what they teach us. Knowledge is power, and with power comes strength, and there's strength in numbers. But when we come together and educate ourselves and form against the powers that run this country, they send in reinforcements. Stand up or lay down.
We had never seen here. That was cold. Come out to the park. Convince us to leave. And if we are not convinced to leave, he will put us out. The park will be surrounded by police officers. And just waiting at the opportunity to take us out of this park. We must have a plan and continue to occupy our park. So, right now, we are going to break off and come up with strategic plans for what's going to happen.
Part of public safety plan to delineate our protest zone. I'm going to be meeting with the major in just a few minutes to get some more information. We have reassembled our unity team and we'll be coming through the park and introducing ourselves to everybody so you'll know who your security protection is out here. If y'all can give us just a few minutes, don't worry about this. We will figure it out. We will advise everyone in the park personally. Just give us a few minutes. It's best to stay out of their way.
Police terrorism at its finest. This is police terrorism. Oh, shit. I was trying
Yeah, the police are looking to crack down on this. If anybody's been paying attention to the news, this is the biggest threat to the whole city, which seems ridiculous, doesn't it? People camping in the park talking about economic justice. Biggest threat to the system.
Do you think they'll try to call you guys a terrorist movement? Try to pull that one off?
No, well, there's been some interesting accusations, but I don't think that's one of them.
I don't think it's escalated to that point.
Yeah.
At this point, it'll only happen to that if he has no other option. That is a way to circumvent legal action to declare a terrorist group, and at this point, he feels that he still has legal alternatives to him.
Did you understand? Did you know it was going to be this powerful when you first started out?
I think the decision that I personally made was that things were so bad, the political system was so broken that that we can't. It's too late to petition. You know, it's too late to write a letter to your congressperson. The wealth consolidation is at such a point where all we got left is civil disobedience. And am I willing to camp in in the park to shine a light on these injustices, it doesn't seem like a very big price to pay. And I think everybody that's out there feels the same way. You know, that we're out here because it's the only option we got left.
AKA Little 5 Points Poetry. I freestyle poetry off any 5 words.
Any 5 words, so I can need 5 you know.
Any random 5 words and I'll go in deep on it.
Revolution, peace, justice, equality, survive.
Most people don't even understand that the equality is at hand, allowing us to occupy the park, white and black, and not even worry about the racist terms. Our heartbeats would only allow us to understand that sometimes it feels like we're about to crash and burn. But see, justice really isn't blind, because it peeks underneath that veil every time that we climb those stairs to court to try to go catch that case. Our heartbeats seem to live at haste, even though that is a waste. It's the beauty of life that we will actually live amongst that one time where we can speak for the people underneath that poverty line, because this is a fight that one doesn't even understand. If we're fighting against the corporations and the government, then we have to know how they actually ran. Our heartbeats will render the beauty of the man, that life amongst this revolution, allowing it to be televised so we can terrorize the lives of the truth and open up all eyes, because that sleeping giant still exists, allowing our heartbeats to understand that this here on earth really isn't bliss. We need to go ahead and come together amongst the formation of education that will allow us to thrive, allowing them to recognize that the peace that we feel amongst our hearts would only allow us to share, allowing us to care and compare. When we actually raise our heartbeats amongst these days, the golden sun rays would only allow us to remember that the gray clouds can be a silver lining.
Hang around. It's been a long.
This is his personal story, but he ain't told no lie.
You said you did what?
I turned 18 years old in Saigon. The average soldier that went there was 19. I volunteered at age 17, so my mama could have food on the table. My sisters and brothers could have something to look forward to. I was willing to die for my family. And when I got there, my sergeant got killed in front of me. I was a Lance Corporal. I took his duties, and I told everybody behind me, let the good die with the bad today. God saw them out. We don't have a motherfucking time. I'm gonna take you back to the United States of America. And I did it for the next 16 years.
Well, from the streets of Atlanta to the jails of Atlanta, now back on the streets of Atlanta. 52 Occupy protesters are being released from Atlanta jail after being arrested in that city's Woodruff Park. You might recall that authorities there had said, just get out of the park, get out now. This guy wouldn't do it, but he's been released. Democratic State Senator Vincent Ford, he was arrested, just released. We invited Mayor Cassine Reed to join us. Still waiting for a response from him. Sir, good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
How did the whole jail thing go?
Well, you know, the jail was not that bad. I've been to jail before and for civil disobedience, so it wasn't a big deal being in. The issues, on the other hand, are a big deal, and although I'm glad to be out, I'll tell you that much.
Put the money with the money. Make enough money to build institutes that control the money. Make the institutes big enough to look over the cities we control and run the world.
We're here to raise the voice of the people.
Y'all think it'll end peacefully?
No, it won't end peacefully. There'll be police brutality, we know that, but
all it is history repeating itself.
I really think the war on terror is a bunch of bullshit. Just a poor excuse for you to use up all your bullets. How much money does it take to really make a full clip? 9/11 building 7, did they really pull it? and a bunch of other cover-ups. Your child's future was the first to go with budget cuts. If you think that hurts, then wait, here comes the uppercut. The school was garbage in the first place, that's on the up and up. Keep you at the bottom, but tease you with the upper crust. You get it, then they move it, so you never keeping up enough. If you turn on TV, all you see's a bunch of what the fucks. Dude is dating so-and-so, blabbering about such and such, and that ain't Jersey Shore. Homie, that's the news, and these the same people supposedly telling us the truth. Limbaugh is a racist, Glenn Beck is a racist. Gaza Strip was getting bombed, Obama didn't say shit. That's why I ain't vote for him. Next one either. I'm a part of the problem. My problem is I'm peaceful, and I believe in the people. Yeah. It's alright. Never heard it, but if we know better, then we probably deserve it. Jihad is not holy war, where's that in the worship? Murdering is not Islam, and you are not observant. And you are not a Muslim. Israel, don't take my side, cause look how far you've pushed them. Walk with me into the ghetto, this where all the kush went. Complain about the liquor store.